Hi, my sweeties. Did you watch the interview with Amber? Did you like it? If you missed it, it's of course saved on the page. Unfortunately, I had to work unexpected today, so I had to be a little bit unprofessional. And
Yo,
hey, brother, how you doing, my
what
love?
up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. How's everything going?
Oh, I just had an interview with Amber from season 4. She never did an interview, and she said she will never do it again. So we have a lot of tea on the page now. She talked about a lot of stuff that wasn't shown.
Oh, well, you know how that goes, man. Production shows what they want to show. They portray what they want to portray, and that's what they do, and that's how they groove, man.
Exactly, exactly. Let me find a good filter so I don't look as bad.
Nah, you good, man. You always come well prepared for these things.
Uh, Unfortunately, I had to work today, so in between the interview, I had to say like to the customers, "Oh, gute Nacht, hallo, haha," and stuff. But happens.
Feel you.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, man. You know, I appreciate all the Berlin support. Um,
Thank
you
you.
know, we're gonna get back on this. You know, I got the utmost faith, and I got a great support team. I appreciate all the support, all the people reaching out, and you know, hopefully we could parlay this with some of my people that I'm still cool with from, you know, just being out there in the reality world. And today, R.I.P. Linda Torres. You know, Aunt Linda, Big Angela's right hand woman, my right hand woman.
Hmm.
So I just want to express my, you know, condolences to her family, to Jamie, and to the rest of all her relatives. So
Also, my condolences too.
yeah, Linda was a real one. So we came up together at the same time. So it was almost like when the Mob Wives came out, my joint came out, and you know, it was just she just became family, you know, and I became her family. So
I'm really sorry for that.
yeah, Linda was the truth. So April 1, I always still say I always say that was it still feels like an April Fool's joke that she passed on that day. So but you know, we're still keeping it live for her, and I know she'd want to see me back on TV. I know Big Ange would want to see me back on TV. So I do it for them. I do it for you guys. I do it for my community. I do it for everyone involved that's positive. You know, too much negative light out here these days, you know, across the world. So, you know, we got to keep that positive platform because you're the positivity to the T. That's what I say. That's going to be the hashtag that we're going to trend. BGC positivity
Exactly.
to the T. Look
Exactly.
on words, but that's how it's got to be. That,
Word.
and that's the slogan that we're going to use. You heard?
Yes.
BGC positivity to the T is the only way you can be. And that's it.
Exactly. Exactly. He did a
Straight
little
up made
rap.
in your face. That's it. That's how we move, man. You know? Um,
I appreciate it a lot.
yeah, for sure. Most
You
still
know,
has me blocked.
the
Most still has
fandom is
but
just. Oh,
no, I
sorry.
was about to
Didn't want
say
to
most still
interrupt
has
you.
me blocked just to keep the update with everything. So but
Mhm.
continue.
The fandom is just really loyal, like the BGC and Love Games fandom. They don't get enough of it, so there has to be a way to revive that. Even the reality shows before, like Charm
Right.
School, Rock of Love,
Oh yeah,
Flavor of
Charm
Love.
School. Yeah. Yo, shout outs to with Rock and Love, shout outs to Britannia, shout outs to Megan Hauserman too.
Oh,
Um,
amazing,
Megan's
amazing.
cool. Megan's really cool. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
actually,
she knows the assignment.
yeah, she does. I actually, I forgot all about her. And you know what's funny? I saw her on an episode of American Greed. There was some type of situation that she was involved with, some type of guy who was a crook. And I was like, yo, let me see if she has an Instagram. Because I was just curious. Like, I was like, I remember her from years ago. And whatever, I followed her. And, like, you know, she's out there. I think she has a family now. She got kids or whatever. But she's doing her thing. Britannia's big, man. Like, yo, you know Britannia, what she's doing. That's my homegirl, man. Her
She's so
husband,
cute as
Mo.
well.
Her husband, Mo. Shout out to Mo. Real cool. I was promoting their 187 gear when I was, you know, on, you know, in around the network and promoting their clothing line out east. Cool people, great people. Always told him that she was a big crush of mine. Always crushed hard on Britannia. Can't get enough of Brit, man.
I, as a gay man, had a crush on Britannia.
Listen, man, Brit was different. And listen, she set trends, man. She set a lot of trends moving forward. She was the first one I saw with those, right?
I have two girlfriends here in Berlin who wear this and who say they did that because of Britannia.
Because of Britannia. And you know what's funny? She does all this crazy stuff. She's still a good mom, no matter what. That's why nobody can say anything bad about whatever she's doing, all this explicit stuff. But respect to her for still holding down her family. She's still married. She still got her kids. So, you know what? Shout outs to Britannia. And some of these bad girls from certain seasons should take notes, because that's being a bad girl. Still maintaining your image.
She whooped ass before BGC, but when it was deserved and not just for the sake of beating somebody. I remember her punching Heather, and Heather really
Yes. And the thing is, you know what? I appreciate women like that still can maintain that hard edge, you know, and stay consistent with it, know when to use it, know when to scale back from it, but also know how to keep that level of respect and never to you know, condescendingly talk to anybody or be demeaning to anybody or undermining.
Yeah, or
So
jumping
always really
people.
got to elevate that, because she didn't change herself when she got a little more mainstream. A lot of these girls little veer off. They start getting a little mainstream look, whatever, but which is cool. If it pays, it pays. But she made her own lane, man. There's only so much she did off of that show, you know? So, you know, respect to her and respect to a lot of those women that were on that show.
And she's a businesswoman. Everybody who wants to say, "Oh,
man.
she's like too explicit and stuff." No, she knows exactly what she's doing, and that's why her bag is like big.
Yo, her bag is big, man. And you know, I always gotta elevate.
Hallo, Abend. 1 second.
You know, I gotta elevate like the women.
Alles gut und bei Ihnen?
Oh, speaking the
Gute Nacht.
Deutsch. Sprechen Sie Deutsch over here, huh? Yeah, man. But I just, you know what? I like that era of the reality stuff, man. Like when I was on it, you know, I felt like a lot of those women, they were just so cool, you know, and they really just had an I don't give a fuck attitude. It was like, you know, they knew they looked good anyway, whether they were off camera or on camera, they're still going to get guys. It didn't matter, really. They were still successful before. Might have been in a different framework, but they were still successful, and they just wanted to, you know, enhance their brand. They knew they'd be successful either way. So it's like now, like we were talking about last time, people be trying too hard for no reason.
Exactly. And they try to be a person that they're obviously not, and they come in like, "Oh, I'm the big bad wolf," and then it's just embarrassing to watch and cringy. Like,
yeah.
you know. And back then the market wasn't as overflown as it's now. So back then, when you had a certain type of personality, there was a big chance that you can work with that platform later. Nowadays, we just have so many like baddies, bad girls, bad bitches, and so on. It's like repetitive now. You have to find something new. And not think, "Oh, I'm casted for Jocelyn's Cabaret. Let me jump a girl that's like 2 feet smaller than me." And you know,
there you go.
like,
there you go.
Who would do that?
You know, like that's just weak, man. And I can't stand that. That's subliminal bullying. It might not be outward bullying, but that's subliminal bullying, and I'm against that too. So it's like any girl that does that to other girls, I got girls to do that to those girls that do that to those girls.
Yes,
out here.
exactly.
There's
To
girls
bully
out
the
here,
bully.
listen, like women growing up out here, especially where I grew up from, yo, listen, if you wasn't really about it, you were really getting a lot of heat every day from guys, girls, everybody, any way you turn. So girls that were really bullied, that overcame that outward bullying, especially due to their environmental circumstances. Now, if you're getting subliminally bullied because someone's taller than you, they think they have more strength than you, they think they could dominate over you, be domineering over you. Nah, that now you're bringing back people's memories from their come up, because we don't really know a lot of people's come up out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really understand unless you get to really know people. And I always say this is my new thing of my new evolution of growth is I want to know people. I don't want to know about people. People, like, if you talk to people, they know about people, but they don't really know people. They don't know other people's DNA and what comprises them, what triggers them, what chills them out, what their vices are in a certain way where they can either help or, hinder them.
Right.
Where you can internalize that and be a useful force in their life. I feel that people just want to know about people to say they know people. They don't really want to know, okay, yeah, this person, had a rough childhood, their parents were this, their sister was this. We don't know that. Oh, we got official Bad Boys Club in here. We are here live and direct. You got to get me on. We got to talk to Natalie Lemieux, whatever his name is, whatever. You guys got to put me back, man. I'm coming in different, full effect, direct. All right.
And we need you back. We need you. Your personality is like it's made for TV.
I appreciate that. And the thing is that just because the light is on, and I always say this, sometimes the brighter the picture, the darker the negative. When you see these people on camera and they put on a show, you have to really maintain that persona all the way through, because the public, you can't fake the whole public. I don't care if they say 1 billion people watching, but maybe 200,000 people said that's a fake motherfucker right there. Still 200,000 people. I don't care if it's a 0.5%. I go by amount. Percentages only, matters in a little bit of a population where it really matters. But when you're comparing the population to the world, let's say 1 billion people watch it, but let's say, 250,000 voted against that. They don't think Mo is a real person, or they don't feel that Curtis is a real person. That's still hundreds of thousands of people out there giving their voice. It doesn't matter about percentage. People get caught up. Oh, we had the billion viewers, top 5% show watched in the nation. Okay, great, but what about the other percentage that had complaints about what you're doing? That's a big number. When you're taking, let's say, 5% of the whole country, that's a lot of people. You can't go by percentage. That's still a big voice of people. At the end of the day, 5%, especially in the States, can make or break a presidential candidate, really. So it's like, and that comes down to what? Hundreds of thousands of people in the low millions. So I think sometimes, and the public gets a little brainwashed with, they say it's the best show on the network. They say it's the #1 show on the network. Well, how does this network keep having #1 shows? Well, like, it's not listed or advertised anywhere where the network is actually saying it. The network doesn't come out and say Zeus Network has this. It's the people that are working in the Zeus Network.
Like the executive producers and stuff.
The executive producer going to say, we only had 100,000 people watch this show nationwide. They only tune in for an average of 10 minutes. They're not going to say that, because they got to still sell their product. But at the end of the day, now if the network said, we had this #1 show, that #1 show, I really don't think so. Because
Natalie, for example, she's known for saying, like, announcing huge things, and then it's not really like that. That's just her little game that she's playing, and
she's crazy, man. She's crazy.
That's
like,
just her. I think it's funny, and I think Natalie knows that we all know that she's lying, and it's just a funny thing. We shouldn't take it too serious. Like, Natalie is somebody to not take too serious.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is with Natalie is, like, I don't know what her real, like,
intentions
is on foundational meaning. Like, you have this stuff going on in the show. What's your message to the public about this show? What's the message? What's like the real meaning of why you're having people say these things to certain people? These people act a certain way to certain people, bringing people onto this show for certain reasons. Like, what's your real stance on it?
I was just talking about that to Amber, that it's somewhat sad that Natalie, until this day, as a mother and as a businesswoman, shows herself like that, but that's her lane, that's her brand. So if Natalie all of a sudden would be like the changed good girl and the mom, nobody would be interested anymore. So she has to push that and drag that longer and longer, and now it's at a point, I was a crazy ratchet boy in my early 20s, but now I'm 31 and have my life in check. I would never go out now and be like, what did you say about me? Why do you look at me like that?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
That?
You evolve. You evolve. I always say that's like a different form of evolution when you do it in a
Yes.
psychological way. Oh,
And I know it's
BGC.
in me. I know where I came from, but now I'm a grown man. You know what I mean? And I'm married. So
Right,
when I
right, right.
imagine I was Natalie and I would still be there fighting people in front of a camera, that's like, or instigating so other people fight each other. That's so negative, and I think it will backfire on her sooner or later.
And
Like,
you know what? She looks at my stories, man.
yes, Billy.
Like, and I'm like, yo, just get at me, talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not. Listen, most people don't have an hour to talk to somebody. Half the world has a half hour. Everybody got 15 minutes, man. Everybody got 15 minutes. All she has to do is be like, yo, listen, I want to bring you on, but they're a little hesitant because they, whatever they obviously they do research on me, like like they have. So it's like, and I'll just break it down and I'll say, yeah, it doesn't have to be like that if you don't put me in situations like that.
Yeah.
Very simple. Like I could be a smooth operator. Honestly, I would like to go on the show as more or less, like a realistic mediator.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice on these shows, the piece only lasts so long. It reinvigorates again because you don't have that glue to the whole cast. In
Yeah.
this show, from the clips that I've seen and a lot of other shows that I've seen recently, there's no glue. Like in other shows years ago, you always had that one person that like knew how to bring everybody together in the kumbaya, and like, levels of respect were really dedicated towards certain boundary lines.
You
You
could
don't.
really be brought in like a mediator, or
I
like a
like to do
street
that.
street worker or
Street,
something.
like
A
listen, like
coach.
right, like be
Mm.
like, yo, listen, man, like, or even give certain strategy on how to move around people so you could maximize your potential. Because a lot of times people ruin their name, their brand from how
Yes.
they act on here because that's what they signed up for. So the thing is, once you sign to be on this, the network could portray you any way. You can't do anything about it. Obviously, they can't portray you as a murderer or like something bad like that. But they
Right.
can't portray. They can portray you any way they want. I'm Maybe they can even imply certain things any way they want. I don't know. But the thing is, when you act out a certain way, you're feeding into the stereotype they're trying to paint of you that you don't even realize yet
Thank
until
you.
things fall the way they do. And then you have to look at social media when you're on this. You look at social media like, damn, like, what did I do? I'm on TV. I'm getting a little exposure, but look at the backlash I'm getting. So
Yes.
them acting out that way, you just fed into the production's predisposition of the actions they wanted you to do. And that's the real case with it. And I'm saying to myself, and I'm like, people just don't get it. They get so excited and blinded by, I'm on TV, I'm on a major network, I'm on
Yeah.
a big time show with no names on the production cast. And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do whatever they say, da da da. And they're looking at the backlash. They're not in the editing room. They don't
Mm-hmm.
get it. You can't sign off on what these people edit. You
Mm-mm.
have no say. That's why you sign those papers. Because
Mm-hmm.
could you imagine, like, if everyone signed off on I want to be portrayed as good? Never would happen. So
No.
they have you're signing over your First Amendment right. I know that. I don't care. I got nothing to hide. I don't have a front to put up. But these people that do, it gets exposed, and you're taking a risk. You're rolling the dice on your life when you
Exactly.
sign those papers because you don't know how they're going to edit you. So me,
Exactly.
I always come on every time. And listen, whoever's watched me or know me the past decade knows that how I was then, how I am now. I might be more edgy now, but I'm not delivering or dialecting any different than I did then.
Mm-hmm.
So these people that try to maintain a certain image of exposure, you're taking a big risk because you don't know in that editing room how they want to portray you in certain scenes.
Yeah, and what this new generation of reality TV stars, like the new casts, don't understand is that we didn't like the villains like Natalie or Red or something because they are villains. We like them because they are funny, because they are, somewhat of relatable. So when people now come in like Mula or like Rel and just bully people,
Right.
and think they will be liked for that. Like, to me, this is mind blowing. How could you
Right.
think you
That's what
will be liked for acting like that? You can be a villain if this is
right.
something you have in your personality. If you
Oh
like to
yeah.
trigger people, it can be funny. But just don't go in there and attack people for like nothing, you know, because that's
And
embarrassing. The viewers will not like you, and you will remember it for that forever.
you're 100% right, and that's what I was saying about the show having what meaning she wants the show to have. Like, what message are you sending? Like, what, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, every show at the end of the day, when the show is completed, production are not dummies. They're writing a script, a novel, scenarios. Like, this is what people get paid a lot of money for. It's almost like they're the songwriters and the person's performing the song.
Mm-hmm.
They're writing the whole narrative. These people are performing it without realizing it, because they have such great marketing teams, such great people that write scripts. So these people don't even realize. That's why they give you, and this is, people don't they connect the dots like me. That's where I'm America's worst. I'm America's worst nightmare. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I'm street, hood, and educated. So when you see these people acting out how they do, right, on the TV, on the reality show,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think you take a psychological evaluation before you go on there? Because they know what triggers you in certain spots. So them interviewing you a few times, they could write the script already about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, what the reaction is going to be, what the antagonizing approach is going to be, how the reception of that antagonizing approach is going to play out, because you're going to take it to a certain level. And who's doing the psychological evaluations? Psychologists or psychiatrists. These are big networks that have a lot of money. You think they're going to want to have a half-assed product? They're going to put all their chips into the product, and they're going to get the best doctors to evaluate you in the shortest amount of time. So they're maximizing profit. They have the best professionals behind them, and they're getting this shit done quick. And that's where Natalie comes in, because she's the one that is situationally stacking the chips where she wants. And that's when she comes on, oh, hey. She's like, hey, bad boy, stop. Cut it out, Natalie, stop. I got to stop you. Yo, you from South Central California. You can't say shit like that. Stop saying that. And you know what's crazy? You figure like one of them would have been from her, Nate, like around where she was from, like, because where she was from is like rough, man. You know, so it's like, wouldn't you, like, how do you, where you're from, where she's from, and you're calling these bad boys, then I don't understand the correlation to that. You're like, I don't know why people like forgot how she was. Like, I know, like, whatever, she's all done up now, you know, like, cool. I respect it. Good for her. She earned it. Well earned, well deserved. She's put her work in. She didn't stop when Bad Girl stopped, or she didn't stop with her season. She kept, you know, rolling with the punches, going with the flow, making her own tsunami wave. You know, she did kind of separate herself a lot from a lot of them, obviously, because she's still around, and it's been a long time. Her and Tanisha, really. Like, but I'm saying to myself, like, people know, if people really know, you know your history, where you're from, and then you call them these bad boys, and then they're doing these things. That's not being bad. Being bad is being able to hold down your community, have respect for people, but also have people know you're not a pushover.
Yeah,
That's
but the
being
thing
bad.
is, you are a deep thinking person. Natalie is not deep thinking by choice. I don't say she's not capable to think deep, but it's her choice. Natalie doesn't want the show to have a message. She just wants it to be as ratchet as possible, because this is the formula that works. All of those shows, One More Chance, Jocelyn's Cabaret, Bad Boys Club, it's all the same formula than Bad Girls Club. You know,
I
and
know.
she knows that makes money, that brings viewers, so she doesn't give a fuck if it is a message or if it is uplifting or not. She just wants fights.
Yeah, but nah, she's, in today's day and age, like, it's different. She, you know, she's not really being so transparent like she claims that she is, you know? Like, people are getting blinded a lot by her, because you know why? Like, she's not my type. Not like, whatever, people can have their preference, whatever, but I'm saying that people get blinded by like an allure, you know? Like, they like her allure, like, you know, she stands upright, she talks powerful, she catches your ear, you know, she has light eyes, so she doesn't, you know, people won't take her as evil in any way because
I don't
usually
like when people call her ugly because I think she's gorgeous in her
no,
own
yeah,
way.
people don't understand. Like
Mm.
she's a strong woman physically, like in her genetic nature. It's her genetics. We're talking genetics. Like you could just tell by her outlay of her body.
She used to be an athlete in school.
Right, exactly. So I think she played basketball, right? Was she a basketball player?
Yeah, and she was a track star and stuff.
Right. So in like I don't even know all that, but her genetics, you could just tell like she was primed for hard work. Like you see how sometimes your body type literally mirror images your personality type. It's
Mm.
weird. So her body literally illustrates hard work. She put in work. She got some muscle to her. You know what I'm saying? Stays pretty tight. Her personality type also, like with the grit and with the shits. That's what she is. She's with the grit and with the shits. That's what she is. Like she won't back down, and like she really won't. Like I feel she's even one that even if she knew she would be at a disadvantage, she would never let you know that you have one over on her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. That's what I believe, and that's what I think separated her from Camila.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
To
front.
be honest, because of the page and stuff, I don't want to talk bad, but Camila to me is somebody, she seems to me very negative and like somebody to be hard to be around. Like she just switches out of nowhere.
I thought I'd rock with Camila better when I got on there, because of where she was from, Long Beach, and she knew my background. I had some conversations with her, but I just felt she didn't have to do as much as she wanted to do on these shows. Like when I saw clips of her season and shit with me, like I feel she didn't have to. She was doing too much to try to make herself more than Natalie, but Natalie ain't have to try to
And
do it.
beating up people that are obviously not fighters, and this is
Right.
something I don't like. And
Exactly.
again, and she was attacking Elise like every chance she had, and it was obvious Elise will not fight back. So why attacking her?
Elise is not a. When I saw Elise in person, I was like, really? I'm like, come on, like you got it. Like you're always saying, she's always popping out. I'm from Long Beach. I'm from Long Beach. I'm from Long Beach. Camila is, and I'm saying to myself, you picking on Elise, like a bougie girl. You know what I mean? Like you see it, you're claiming hood from Long Beach, California. All right, Snoop Dogg. All right, like pump your fucking brakes for a second, all right? Like pump your fucking
Do the
brakes.
crip walk out of here.
All right, like calm down, Camila. Relax yourself. Like you're picking on bougie Elise, who's in fucking heels. Like the fuck is wrong with you? Like pick on a hood girl, like straight out of the peas, out of the peas. Put her in with a hood girl.
Fight Megan.
I'll be honest with you.
Fight
Listen,
somebody who's going to fight back.
and I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight up honest with you. I know whatever, like fucking whatever shit with Nikki got out of hand with that bullshit. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it, but I'll say one thing. Camila would not have a chance against Nikki. And I'm a real one. And Nikki been throwing my name in the dirt.
Do you mean
That
Nikki
just shows
from
you how real I
season 10
am.
or from season 6?
Who from season 6?
From season 6, okay. Because there was a Nikki on season 10 too.
No, Nikki, season 10.
Or like Nikki, the Latina. From the Bronx.
Yeah, my ex, yeah.
Oh yes, of course. I love.
Right. So she's been. I know you. Do you know that whole thing that's been going on with that? Did you hear about it?
A little bit.
Yeah, but she was really but she was going very far with it, like really putting my name out there in negative light, like recently for no reason. But I'll still say this: even her trying to shit on me, whatever you want for whatever reason. Now I have no idea. I'm a real one. She would kick the shit out of Camila. I'm not going to sit here and say Camila beat ass, but I'll say that would be a great matchup. That would have been a matchup that I would have liked to see.
Nikki can fight.
Yo, can she? When we were out, she came out with my cousin too. Yo, listen, man. Like, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been through the highest of highs and the most elevated of elevated with her. So we're talking highest of highs, elevated of elevated, fire of fire. All fires are fires. All volcanoes are volcanoes. That's what I really say. But even with that, I'm still real about who she is. And I feel that even if Camila would never
What
say
happened,
that.
Casey, just so you know, what happened between you guys for us doesn't matter at all. We
Oh
all
yeah, yeah.
were in relationships already. We all had a toxic relationship maybe already. But that doesn't define to me who Nikki
No,
is
no,
or
no.
who you are.
And I appreciate that, you know,
Yeah,
because we always have to see who we're getting credibility from. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say. Even on these shows, like, Mo talking shit, like he's not a credible source of anything. And like I said, who had him feel the entitlement to say certain things? And then you throw in punches, man.
yeah,
Like you just said from the first episode that you were a little dude, and the other guy was like, saying what room he's gonna have or something, and you're like, oh well, little old me, this and that, trying to make yourself first appear to be a meekish guy, like minding your business. Then you're gonna go pick on someone that you really know is not gonna fight back, like we were saying, and that's
right,
what you do. And then you start going into the guy's family. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
no, yo,
Casey, on
that's
your season, did you witness the fight when they brought in the girls from season 8 and Gabby
yeah, they had to
eventually?
leave. Yeah, they had to leave right after those girls, and I felt bad. Listen, I thought they should have stayed. I thought that should have been the twist of the whole show, is to have those girls live with them, and maybe
Yes.
some other guys from Love Games, like they had Joe and the other ones, live with us. So why not have some girls from the other seasons live with them? I thought that would have been a great twist. I
But
thought
they
they
knew
should.
what they were doing bringing them in. Like they hated each other's guts. It was obvious what's going to happen.
I didn't know anything about this stuff, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, this is really gonna be something right now, and
But did you
it
feel
was.
bad for Elise since she's really not a fighter? And
No,
then
listen, she didn't come on there trying to pop anything, man. She might have said she might have said something. I don't think she said anything sarcastic. I think it was the other one that
no,
did.
she just had same old story because the twins were like meh, 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 meh,
The twins
meh. And
were
she was
right, but
like, oh,
no,
same old
Elise,
story.
yeah, I don't believe. No, I'll be honest with you. I thought Elise, that would have been a girl I would have liked to talk to on there. And out of all the three, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I just thought she was like nice, like she presented herself well, like
She's beautiful.
she presented herself well, like she didn't come on there strutting a certain posture or a certain walk to like you know demonize anybody else, like I'm here and everybody's not. She didn't do that. You know
And
what?
I did. I
She wore a nice outfit. It was black, a
yeah.
nice outfit that showed enough, but not too much, and it really showed that she has a nice body and she takes care of herself.
Yeah,
True,
definitely.
she does. And oh yeah, someone said she did make a side comment. Maybe she did, but it might not have. Whatever it was, they ran with it, but it wasn't anything major because I was
And
there.
even when she does not deserve to get jumped all the
Oh,
time.
not jumped.
I didn't understand
Like,
why she kept on coming back to the spin-offs, Love Games and All-Star Battle and season 8 and everything, because every time she came, she got her ass whooped. And that's so sad. That's so
yeah,
sad.
and because you know what, she I mean, I guess she's just an easy target for them because they're
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the girls might be a little envious of her, maybe now even because like she, has taken better care of herself. She really elevated, like in terms of just her structure, and I think she looks better now than she did then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of girls might be a little envious that maybe like Camila and the other ones,
The twins.
they don't look right. They don't, they kind of they don't let themselves go. The twins had a lot of work done. I don't give a fuck what they say. They had a lot of work done. A lot. Danny did too. Listen, Danny didn't hit puberty 5 times overnight. I'm sorry. She was not hitting puberty 5 times overnight. I was like, what the fuck? But the other ones like Camila and, like,
Danny is really
you
difficult to deal with, right? She's like has a
know
difficult.
what? Like I said last time, after that night that I really helped her and her sister out so much, like forever indebted. If she ever came to New York and if I hit her up, she didn't like hit me back, I would take big offense to that because she was in a lot of danger that night, and I got a witness to prove that too. So,
Mm.
but I'm just
No, I
saying,
believe you. a lot of those girls after the show, it was risky for them to go to clubs when they did something on the show that the viewers didn't like. And
Yes.
many girls got attacked afterwards when they hosted, you know. So, but
Yeah.
that's karma. That's how God works, you
And
know.
you know, they did a lot of appearances at strip clubs back then.
Mm,
And out here, and there were some altercations. I don't remember with who, but there were, because a lot of the strippers didn't like those bad girls, man.
of course.
They were, you know, taking time away from them, making money. Like, they're talking to them, like, what the fuck, like, you know, some guys go crazy for those girls, even back then or even now. Like, some guys will just be like, wow, da, 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 you know, because, you know, the bad girls, they try to, you know, give them a little more femininity now, you know, like, you know, more of a glow, not more of like hard ass gruff, but like
But
more.
I understand why the girls wouldn't like that. I used to be a dancer myself like 10 years ago. And if I was there on a Saturday night and the club is full and
Yeah,
somebody
of course.
comes to the stage and
Yeah,
takes the
yeah,
spotlight off me, I would have felt some type of way.
yeah. Because what would a dancer say initially? You owe me X amount of dollars because you were here 3 hours. Like,
Yeah, like it's 3 hours now, you owe me like 400 euro.
right,
Like,
right, exactly. Because, but see, but then the club owners are looking at it in terms of the club, not in terms of the girls. So that's where it sucks. Like, that's why they had a lot of conversations with females. A
mhm.
lot. It was a lot out here. I remember at one time. Um, you know, you know who I really wanted to always tap in with? Gia.
Yeah.
Is she from Pennsylvania or something?
Gia was from, where was Gia? I have to Google, but she
From
was from some random
or
aspect.
Florida or Florida. I always wanted to, that's one I never tapped in with. I tapped in with Flo and Portia. Yo, me and Portia used to talk back a long time ago before she stopped using social media when I had Twitter. She was really
Mhm.
cool. I thought it was a fake Twitter account, but it actually was real. We used to chat a lot. I wanted to link up with her too. I wanted to link up with her. And who's the
Oh,
other?
Gia was from Newark. This here.
No, oh, she's from Jersey. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I don't think she lives out here anymore. No, she doesn't live out here anymore though, but she is from Jersey. Yeah, I
But
knew
I
it.
don't think she has the typical Jersey vibe. Jersey girls normally are a little bit different. Like I wouldn't think
Well,
she's from.
Newark, yo, listen, man. Newark's a rough neighborhood, man.
Mm.
Newark, listen, yo, that's in Jersey, but listen, that's a serious neighborhood. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't know anybody out there. Like, I wouldn't go out there myself.
Are you following her? She's looking amazing.
Gia,
Like,
yeah, Gia. I had crush hard on Gia.
yeah, Gia has something about her that she like
She
shows
has,
a lot of herself, but still she's mysterious a little bit.
she's
Like,
so, I call her a pocket-sized rocket. You know what I'm saying? She's a pocket-sized rocket. The girl, like, listen, she. I just feel she's a down one. I always felt she was. I always wanted to just talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just always felt she would be so cool because she's literally Newark, New Jersey is half hour away from me.
mhm.
Haas, what up? Like a half hour away. So I always thought Gia was so dope and cool. I thought she had such a cute little, you know, spice to her. Like,
Mhm.
she'll like give you a hug and then in 5 seconds probably try to cut your face if you
Yeah.
said the wrong word. But that's cool though because that means
She
she feels like
choked somebody out on her, like a guy who came over and she was drunk and she choked him and stuff.
yo, but she stays true to the word of her, you know?
Do you
And
like the drama in girls a little bit? Would you like to have a girl that's like a little bit spicy like that, and
I'll always say this, I never
a
dated.
girl that triggers you out of character
No,
sometimes?
I don't. I've always been around strong women. So a girl that just has like formidable strength, like I knew with Nikki, like if something would go down, I knew she'd be back to back to be handling business 100%. Easy, easy. So the thing is that uh girls like that I've always like gone for. I would say over the past maybe 10 years. 10 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
10 years.
Darlene season 2. Do you know who that is?
I don't know if I know who Darlene is. I
Darlene
like
from season 2.
who was the one on
She
Love Game?
was a Mexican
Oh,
girl.
I don't know if I know her, but I always liked the Love Games two girls, Corey and Sydney.
Oh yeah,
Yo,
Yeah.
listen, Corey follows me. She still follows me on this shit. I used
Corey
to,
looks like a little princess, but she was actually one of the best fighters BGC ever had, and she has had one of the most epic fights. Like,
yeah, yo,
she's strong as hell. Like, it's crazy.
listen, Corey be really on her shit, man, and she was in Playboy. Like, I always thought Corey had like, I just knew she had like that extra gear, you know, like. And Sydney's cool. Sydney she just looks like a girl that would have grew up right around where I was from.
So, what you think about Judy? She was on that season too.
Yeah, no, Judy's cool, man. Judy's cool. I thought Matthew was weak, man. Oof, man, what a week! Holy shit! Fucking Jesus Christ, man.
She's a lot.
Yo, listen, man. Matthew, man. I could see that coming a mile away, man. When he came on, I was like, bro, nah. No.
I think she's one of the most authentic, even when people say
cool.
she forces
What it is with
that
her.
crazy personality. I don't think she forces anything. I think that's really her, and I
Mhm.
respect that a lot, because
What it
she does embarrass herself sometimes in front of the camera, but she doesn't care. And she's like, she's not intimidated. She's not a fighter, but you can whoop her ass like Priscilla
Yeah,
did, and afterwards she will still punk you with words. You know, you
yeah.
can't win against somebody like that. You can't, because you can fight her as much as you want. She will still talk shit afterwards. You know, you just can't win against a Judy, and I like that. I think that's funny as
Now,
hell.
Judy reminds me of a Brooklyn girl too, because she's just like she's about it. You know, she has that gruffness to her that I thought was cool. I just thought that I didn't like the Matthew shit. Like I just thought it was that shit wasn't gonna unfold into anything. Like I was like, I'm seeing him. I'm like, yo, he's like, you know, like very librarian.
Did you
Very,
go on the show really thinking you could find love there, or did you think like, okay,
no, I'm going to tell you why I went on the show. Well, not what I went on the show when it was confirmed that they wanted me. I did a little research. And I was trying to find out who would have been on my season. So I'm like, Morgan was supposed to be on it. Morgan, and that when I heard that, I was like, if I'm going for Morgan, nobody's gonna get her but me. Nobody, nobody.
I can understand.
Morgan, fuck no. And we're talking back then. And it was that girl. What's that one with the CH? Shar was supposed to be.
Char. Mm-hmm.
Shaw was. I thought Shaw was pretty. Also, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo. And
Her catchphrase was rotate. She always said, rotate, bitch, rotate.
and then there was a white girl that was gonna be on there because I remember that they leaked the cast. And then I actually hit up Morgan. This is before it got real famous.
Angie from season 7, a Latin girl, because she was considered for that season too.
Maybe. Because I remember the lineup was pretty dope. And I was like, yo, these girls they look pretty good. Like, I'm like, this is great. Like, this is pretty dope. I'm like, Morgan? What the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
Morgan.
Morgan?
Unfortunately, she got a lot of work done nowadays, which was not necessary because she was God-given.
Listen, I'm all for self-improvement. You want to do what makes you happy. I'm all for, listen, get work done, makes you happy, makes you feel good, feeling good, looking good, brings you a positive attitude, a positive approach. I'm all for it. I just thought she had like this like edgy Cindy Crawford vibe to her.
Yes, exactly.
Cindy Crawford. I just, because the way her hair was even different. Like her hair was everything was different. Her hair, I thought her nose was so dope because supposedly they said she was part black.
She was partially black.
So like her nose shape was like had a great mix, and I was like, damn, she's just like exotic, sexy, but like not exotic where you could place her. She was a neutral exotic. You know how hard it is to be neutral exotic? Mm-hmm. So hard. Because mostly when people say you're exotic, it's like you're from this island, boom. Neutral exotic's like, all right, could be from different hemispheres. Hemispheres we're talking, not just hemispheres. So I thought Char looked, you know.
One second, bro. I have to make a call, but you can talk to the followers in between. I just have to make one call. 1 second, please.
Oh, cool. No problem. Yeah. So that's who that's who I thought was good and who was going to be on the show. But
Hi Boris, du hast
whatever, it
angerufen.
is what it is. But you know what it is? All call outs are mandatory anyway because I still have unfinished business to handle with Vinny.
Einen Schlüssel zu
So
aktivieren.
um, I didn't even go into that story yet, but I want him to listen to
Von
it.
gehört, dann bitte ihn, er
That,
soll
that
wiederkommen, ich bleib nie da.
definitely has to get handled. I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. I got
Weil im Moment sind ja hier nachts
hot.
auch irgendwelche Leute
Um,
unterwegs, die sich verkleiden
I
und
wanted
sowas
Vinny
und
to
versuchen,
call
durch
him out for
Gebäude
one.
zu kommen. Also bei sowas in der Nacht, das ist ein, sag ihm
So
sorry,
yeah, I gotta look her
sprechen
up.
Sie
Like I
bitte
want to
mit dem
tap in with
Hausmeister,
some
ich weiß nicht
of
genau,
the
wie es
women, man.
geht. In der Nachtschicht
Cool.
machen wir
A
sowas
lot
nicht.
of them
Bitte
just
tagsüber kommen.
don't know how to
Ja, ne, ciao,
compartmentalize
ciao.
their emotions all the way. I just think they're cool. I really
I'm
do.
so sorry,
No, that's
Sorry for
good.
the
Listen,
hustle.
no, listen. That that's the life, man.
Gotta do
That's what
what
New
you
York
gotta
City
do.
is. A hustle every day, man. I understand, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Berlin, we always say Berlin is cheap but sexy. So here we always have to juggle 2 or 3 jobs. But me as a Capricorn, that's how I am naturally. If I wouldn't be a hustler, I wouldn't be myself.
oh,
So of course it would be great to have a corporate job where I make my 4 or 5 thousand euros a month. But this is just not realistic, especially here in Germany.
right.
So I have to do the security stuff I do here, the bottle service in strip
That's
clubs and
good.
so on. I used to be escorting when I was younger and a
Right,
dancer. This is legal and very normal in
right,
Berlin. We all grew like everybody's a sex worker here.
right. I understand. I understand.
But those times are gone since I'm married, and then I had to find a way to make like to keep my standard, but with normal jobs where I don't have to
Right.
take off my clothes, right?
Well,
So
I mean,
that's
that's
how I
good.
ended up in bottle service and security.
Listen, it, in these days, yo, listen. As long as you're keeping everything honest and you don't have to worry about your money being watched by anybody, that's such a big stress relief. That's peace of mind that a lot of people don't have.
Yes.
Honestly, like if it's legal, you're able to do whatever and you can make a living and it doesn't cause you any stress. Fuck
Yes,
it.
and you have to find your own border. So I saw a lot of people getting lost in the red light world because it is easy money, but it's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just fast. So I always said when I did that, I will not do that longer than 2 or 3 years, and I will have to find another way
Right.
because everybody is, from my perception, everybody who's longer in sex work than 5 years doesn't find a way out.
No.
That's the fact, you know. And then it starts to show on your personality. Some of those girls, they lose like their glow and their shine because it sounds weird, but because they fuck so much
Yeah.
that it's nothing precious anymore, and you sell your soul every time you
Right.
do that, you
Right.
know. So you can do it for a while, but do that very knowingly and know what you are doing there. Set your own borders. Don't do anything for extra money that you don't like, because later you will feel the money will be spent and you will feel dirty about yourself. And this is how I always approached this type of work, you know.
Right.
And then I met my husband, we married, and now it's done, and I'm still making good money with without being naked. So that's fine then.
Listen, it's good that you progress. There's progress. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
you take something, you paid your dues with it. Really, you can look at it like that. You earned your dues with it. You didn't have to really pay, you earned your dues with it. And you progress and now you feel better. You're doing different things. You're still living, your lifestyle you want to live and being the same person. Ain't nothing
And I'm not a
changing.
contract type of person. This typical German life is like 2 kids and a dog.
Right,
And once the year you go to Mallorca or to Turkey for a week, and other than that, you just work. And I need to be free. I need to be able to call my boss and say, you cannot plan me the next 3 weeks because I will travel or
right.
something, you know?
Well, like, listen, that's a way that a lot of people are like. I don't mean like the profession. I mean for them to think like that, there people are afraid to because there's a little risk involved, and people sometimes are afraid to take that risk because they don't know what's on the other side of that risk. But you know, That
To me,
that growth is epic in the end, though. It just might not pay dividends, full dividends initially, but it will residually pay dividends. It's
yeah,
go
to me, it's to me, like stability, the way people see it here is an illusion. So yes, it makes you stable when you have a certain contract where you know you can't be kicked out, and you get
right,
this type of money, and you get this much days of vacation every year. But you are still ass kissing your boss every day. And if your boss tells you no, you will not have vacation in that week, you will
yeah,
not have vacation in that week, and you might not attend the wedding you wanted to attend or something. So this to me is like you sell yourself. It's still prostitution, even if it's a corporate job. So
yeah,
for me, it's like, no, I will not do that. I juggle many jobs and I make my money, but I'm still
right,
free to say, sorry, I will not come next week. What are you going to do about it? You
right,
know?
right. And you know what? It's everything in life is about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people don't realize when just your own freedom is taken away or held over you by either somebody, an organization, institution, whatever it is. People don't understand how degrading it could feel over
Yes,
time.
and we didn't ask to be born. So who's going to tell me how I should live my life to have stability? You know,
Exactly.
I'm not here by choice. So since I'm here, let me do my own decisions.
Right, but that's freedom of choice. You know,
Yes.
and a lot of people, they don't utilize it.
Hmm.
They don't utilize it. They're afraid to utilize it. They feel it's a stigma to utilize it sometimes, or they get shut out by others not to utilize it. And that's, you know, when people try to infringe upon that right, who are they? Like you said, who are they? They ain't nobody. They ain't no other difference than you and me.
Right.
You know. And who? Like I said, like I always say now, who makes them set the standard? Who? I
Exactly.
want to know. Like who? You know what I mean? I don't see any hands raised. You know.
And
So
what success? Who decides what is success and what not? You know, what is a good life and what is not a good life? Like, who's going to tell me that? And like, everybody's different. So your formula of living life might not work with me, and that's totally fine, you know. So I don't like. There's often people telling me, "Chris, you're so smart. You could be an academic, and your parents are teachers." Yes, but their formula of a good life is not mine.
right.
So leave me the fuck alone with that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what other people are doing. It only matters what you want to do for you because you're you and they're not. And you got to have the right thought process and mind frame of what fits your niche and what fits your mold.
Right,
You
right.
know, can't nobody tell you to be somebody because you're only somebody. You're your somebody. Somebody can't tell you to be a certain somebody because you're your own somebody.
Exactly.
And when people start, and I always feel it's a very, very like fierce form of disrespect when people do shit like that. It's a fierce form of disrespect when people try to tell you how to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, oh, you should be way further in your life. Where should I be? The money I make,
Right, but
my sister
who
makes
are
after studying for 6 years. And
and who are
no,
they?
I will not do that. I have the I can I don't want to brag, but my sister had to go to university for many years to get a contract to work in the German financial system in
Right,
Frankfurt, and she has her contract, and like she wasted all her youth to come to the point she's at now, and I'm proud of her. She's wonderful. She's making a lot of money, um, but her formula does not fit with me. I was not okay with throwing away my 20s in a university, being
right,
broke all the time, you
and
know,
that,
having to study all the time. No, I had my fun, and now I'm here still making money. Like,
yep.
and that's okay. So don't judge me, you know.
People shouldn't because you know what? Everybody's mentality is different of what works best for them. Because you like people, how can people say something if they haven't experienced it themselves and if they don't really know you?
Yeah, yeah.
You haven't experienced it yourself.
And it's indoctrinated since we're little that people tell us you have to do this, and then you have to go to university, and then you will study, and then you will be a happy person. Okay, but then you already wasted 30 years of your life. You are highly in debt. that
Yep.
you will pay until you're 50 or 60 and then your life is over. So no, I'm not open to do that. Sorry.
Right. And that's what's keeping you preserved.
Exactly.
Because if you're doing things in that way, you're basically running off your instinct, what your instinct's telling you of how you want to live, not what's being told to you. So it's really instinctual, really, of what you're doing. So really, you're only gonna feel better doing it because you're not working against the grain. You're
Right.
working against the grain. You're like, oh, this shit ain't for me. This shit ain't for me. And then you're doing the shit that isn't for you. You're working against the grain. You're causing yourself harm, but you don't know it yet until later on when that shit just weighs on you and it just crashes on your head.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, it's very different when people say things like that and you don't expect them to say things like that because you don't feel it's their place to say things like that. That's what people do. They say things out of place. Not your place. Not your place.
Yeah.
Just like when girls would tell me certain things. You know what I always say? If you're not holding my seed, you can't say those things.
Right. Right, Casey. Casey, thank you so much for your time. I have to go off now, unfortunately. I have to do my round and go
Oh,
run
listen.
and stuff.
Pleasure
It
speaking.
was a blast,
Listen.
like always.
No, pleasure, man. I always appreciate your support. I appreciate you also opening up about your life because
Of course.
but that's not a thing that most people would do. So a lot of strength and courage for that because like I said, it still takes strength to do things like that and be open because at the end of the day, people are judgmental. So fuck it. So you still
I
right.
don't say my way of living is a great way of living and I
Right.
made many mistakes, but I do open up about that because I think somebody out there could relate to it. And I just think don't let anybody cut your wings. If you feel like going stripping, if you feel like becoming an artist, if you feel like trying to become successful online, do it. And don't let your family or people around you push you into something that you don't want to do, that doesn't make you happy.
You're right.
There's not a formula of a happy life. You have to find out yourself what you love.
There's no math equation of happiness, but there's a math equation for everything else.
Exactly. Exactly. Casey, I will save this life if you're fine with
Yeah,
it.
go right ahead, man. Do your thing.
Okay. Lot of love. We're family. And I see you. Okay.
All right, blessings.
Bye, brother.
Peace.